And in my playbook tonight, President Obama will be in Nevada tonight to fire up the base for Harry Reid and get the vote out. But Democrats are already proving the establishment wrong this election cycle. In the battleground states like Nevada and Ohio, Democrats are voting early at a real torrid pace. So much for the progressive base staying home. Let me bring in Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown. Senator, good to have you with us tonight.
Good to be back.
I want to show you the scene here. This is President Obama, 37,000 people at the University of Southern California. The president is drawing crowds wherever he goes, and in certain states, like in Pennsylvania and in Wisconsin and in Colorado, you see senators who are closing the gap. What do you think, Senator Brown? Do you think that President Obama can close the deal for Harry Reid in Nevada?
Well, President Obama's closing the deal, and so are progressive Democrats and people getting out. We had 37,001 people show up at the Oval at Ohio State the other day. Largest crowd. I said that because it's one more than Southern California, than USC. But this was literally 35,000 people, the largest crowd that had appeared in front of President Obama since the inauguration. I was in Cincinnati today at 8:15 in the morning, and there were 30 volunteers already at headquarters for Congressman Steve Driehaus and State Representative Connie Pillich to get the vote out for Democrats. The pundits talking about the enthusiasm gap, they're wrong. I mean, you wouldn't see this kind of turnout among Democrats. We have early voting in Ohio. We've already been voting for, I think, 3.5 weeks. We're seeing a good turnout on the Democratic side, maybe even a great turnout on the Democratic side. The excitement's building, and the pundits are wrong about the enthusiasm gap. And I've seen far too many examples in Ohio for me to believe anything otherwise.
Senator, how aggressive do you think President Obama should get with this rogue candidate like Sharon Angle, who's got $40 million behind her, who has taken all the personal shots and lies at Harry Reid? Should the president come out and say that she's dangerous and an embarrassment? What do you think?
Well, I think the president focuses on what she wants to do. I don't think you need to say embarrassment or dangerous. I think you just say she's got the Republican playbook. Privatize Social Security, privatize Medicare, trade agreements that outsource jobs, more tax cuts for the rich, more deregulation of Wall Street. That's the thing. In every state, the Republicans want power, but they want to go back to the same policies. And nobody agrees with those bankrupt Bush policies. Interestingly, in Ohio, the Senate candidate doesn't even mention that he used to work for the Bush administration, and he was a prominent member of the administration. I mean, these people are all tied into these. You know, I don't want to look back, but I want to learn from looking back and learn from history because it's predictive of the future. And they're offering nothing new from the same bromides and the same failed policies in the first part of this decade. You know that.
And what are your thoughts on Bill Clinton? We haven't seen him work this hard since he was running for office.
Yeah, Clinton's
great. He is out there.
Yeah, we want him back. I mean, the president's going to come to. The president was in Columbus last Sunday. He's coming back to Cleveland soon, and then 2 or 3 days before the election. Yeah. We want to see Bill Clinton here too. I mean, he turns out huge crowds, and people listen to him. And I hope he comes in too.
Terrell Clark is a heck of a candidate here in Minnesota, and former President Clinton is going to be here campaigning against Michelle Bachmann. It's going to be interesting. Sherrod Brown, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. Also in my playbook tonight, Christine O'Donnell came out of hiding this week to participate in a few debates. Here's just a taste of O'Donnell's disastrous week.
Where in the Constitution is separation of church and state?
Government shall make no establishment of religion.
That's in the First Amendment. After that debate, my team and I, we were literally high-fiving each other.
Give me a name, Christine, of someone in the U.S. Senate across the aisle that you're comfortable working with.
I would definitely have to say Hillary Clinton.
All right, we've done the whole interview without talking about witchcraft. Any regrets in doing the ad? Because that really did raise it again.
Yeah. Our intention was to kill it, and that's not what happened.
For more on O'Donnell's media strategy, let's turn to talk radio consultant Holland Cook. You got a handful tonight, Holland. What's your take?
2 debates, 2 headline quality gaffes. But underneath all the applause lines and all the horse laughs she's getting, you got to ask yourself, what's the case they're making about no separation of church and state? Where are they going with this? These Tea Partiers are what you call cafeteria constitutionalists. They're real good at reciting the Second Amendment, but in that first debate, she hadn't heard the first sentence in the First Amendment. So there's that. But what is the underlying appeal of denying separation of church and state? This is very troubling.
You would think that she would just keep it local when it comes to politics and pick the Democrat from her own state that she might be able to work with. What do you think?
That question was a Valentine. It was a gimme. It was a softball. That's all she had to say is the name of the other senator from Delaware. But this was a rough week for her, and I think what you're seeing is what we read a couple of days ago in the Wall Street Journal, certainly not the liberal House organ, but the Wall Street Journal made the point that Christine O'Donnell is hurting righties in races in other states. All politics is no longer local. And frankly, these debates in Delaware are probably changing no minds. My friends in Delaware find her an embarrassment. And the people who feel sorry for her are going to continue to support her. But all politics is no longer local. And her antics, Sharon Angle, Rand Paul, all of these bloopers may be why you see the lines crossing in the polling. If the election were a month ago, these caricature candidates would have done better. I think people are sobering up.